DJ Paul, KOM, the king of Memphis, man. From the world famous, award-winning, hard-hitting 3-6 Mafia. And you checking out rapreviews.com. Rapreviews.com. Rapreviews.com.
Peace, it's Bisco Smith and a place to be. You're listening to Hip Hop Shop on rapreviews.com. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Yo, this is Nim's Gutter, Marvelous Murder Fest, the Gunther Hunter, F Your Life President, rapreviews.com. Your mother's a Gunther.
This is the Hip Hop Shop, and I'm your host, Steve Flash Jewin, and in a moment, we're going to be joined by Random, aka Mega-Ran, for a brand new interview to celebrate our 300th episode of the Hip Hop Shop. But before we get to Random, let's play a random track from Random. Check out his freestyle, The Teacher is Going Hammer.
Yo, this is Random. Before I start, a random fact. Did you know that every year more people get killed by donkeys than plane crashes? It's true. Look it up. Let's go. Yeah. Ran? Your spitting is basic, my vision is LASIK. I can't retire yet because there's no fitting replacement. I stop on your couch and your whole living arrangement. Ran hit them with bangers and the critics is anxious. Watch you cast and take them out, man. There ain't nothing fake about Mega-Ran. Now sit the microphone down, get a paper out while you're sitting mean mugging. I'm over here looking calm. This shouldn't have taken long. 4 lines in the book of Psalms. Damn it, you amateurs can't stand it, huh? But remember, I can't see your middle fingers this side of the camera. This ain't rap. This is art, hang it in your crib, show it off, turn it up, yeah, bang it in your whip. I was raised by a place called Nice Town. Cats get knifed down, somebody probably getting stuck right now. Failure's not in me, cause you know that God sent me. Got the speakers going hammer, you can call them John Henry. Listen, you just a waste of CO2 and Pro Tools, while I get more views than the Amber Rose nudes. I did it for the idiots who call me old school. I did what they won't do, not what I am told to. You the craziest, I can't believe it, like an atheist. Dangerous like paying Casey Anthony to babysit. These kids is comical, you gotta know. I'm the teacher rapper everybody knows, just like the Konami code. 16's pristine, painted on the 16. And since we are total strangers, you can never miss me. Harder golden confidence that no one can stop me. Verbal swordsman, I'm raps Miyamoto Masashi. Smarten up when they ask me to dumb down. On a natural high, I had to smoke weed just to come down. Wanna know how I pen a random verse? Then go to Wikipedia, hit random search. For example, did you know that humpback whales fast on winter and never ever come back frail? They feast off fat. My bad, I beats off track. How many MCs you know that would speak on that? Shh, you can't say Jack the Rat except my rap's grand. Your rapper's arms too short to box and you can't even clap your hands. I pop it, lock it, and this one's for non-profit. Like swap meat watches and buckles from Hot Topic. No, I got rid of them. I'm a carcinogen, law-abiding citizen. Yeah, I came to get it in. Born losers, rappers, I'm going through ya. I stopped battling, I was tired of sore losers. Well, that's not accurate. 2008 in Cincinnati, I lost a kid twist, and truthfully, he ripped me badly. But all I did was spark a flame that never extinguished. Switch gears and mutated to a sick linguist. If he believes in you, then he's a fool. Think I deal with more knuckleheads now than when I was teaching school. But now I charge like a Pikachu. So promoters gotta make it worth my time, or I ain't gonna even move. I ain't gonna even move. I ain't gonna even move. Ha. I got a show to do.
And welcome back to the Hip Hop Shop. It is episode number 300, and I am your host, Steve Flash Jewin. And for the 300th episode, we have a very special guest. Returning to the program is Random, aka Mega-Ran. How's it going today, Ran?
Hey, it's going pretty well, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. I'm doing an interview with you, and it's 300 shows. I mean, 300, for somebody that's in video games, 300 is kind of a cool number. Not just because, you know, there's a movie 300 that they should probably make an 8-bit video game out of, but it always seems to be like that target when you're collecting old games. Like, you get to 100, 200, 300, it's like, wow, man, my collection is really growing. I got like 300 Nintendo games now. Holy shit.
Yeah, 300 is a huge, huge number, man. Man. And so now I guess for the intro of this show, you have to have the like iconic scene of like kicking the guy down the hole and saying this is Sparta or something.
Exactly, yeah. or we'll just do that techno drop that everybody does YouTube remixes of. That's Sparta!
There you go.
Speaking of 300, I'm sure there's about 300 albums now. You're the most prolific rapper out there today, at least as far as I'm concerned.
300. You know, I thought about that, but then I look at guys that I know who make a lot of albums that I really look up to. Guys like Murs, who does a project or two or even 3 every year. You know, Too Short's got a whole bunch of albums. That Nas, Life is Good was his 11th album. I mean, granted, it's been over quite some time, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of albums, you know? I think differently than most people. And because I think and I write in concepts, it leads to everything being separated. Like I'll write a song and I like it a lot, and then I'll put it way on the back burner because I don't want to talk about that particular thing or that topic or that style of music yet. So that's kind of how all the music gets stockpiled. It's, I just try to make sure each album is a specific mood and a specific feel. So that's usually the process of a random release.
People who are just now, and I can't believe anybody would be getting a late pass at this point, but anybody who's just now getting into random and doesn't know what we're talking about, every album he releases is not like mixtape with somebody saying, you know, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that, blah, 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 in the trap. Because you get some rappers who will put out a mixtape every single week, and you're like, really? You're saying the same thing you said in your last mixtape. No, each one of the random albums you get is a theme based on a project or a game or a mood. You know, it's not like you're going to Dat Piff and getting the new random album.
I had a friend ask me, though, he was like, man, how come your music's not on Dat Piff? And so I started putting the mixtapes that I did, the Teacher Rapper Hero tapes, on on Dat Piff. And I also put the random Christmas album on Dat Piff. So, because at that time, it was a couple years ago, I think Dat Piff was one of the only sites that allowed mobile streaming, specifically. So Bandcamp didn't have a mobile app, and I still don't think they do, but they have a mobile site. But, they didn't make it easy for someone to listen to it on their phone. But for some reason, Dat Piff did. Like, they were ahead of the game on that. They had one of the most, I guess, user-friendly mobile apps. And so he's like, you got to put your music on there or else I can't hear it. And I'm like, really? So I did it just for this one friend of mine. So yeah, there are a couple of random releases. I think I put Trap on there too. So there's a couple random releases on Dat Piff.
And hey, since you mentioned the Christmas album, it is the holiday season, so I'll throw a brief shout out to that because that's one of my favorite albums that you've done. I'm a mark for the old Charlie Brown Peanuts holiday specials, and that you sampled that and rapped over that. It was just lovely to me. I enjoyed the hell out of that album.
Thank you. Like, I'm so glad it came together the way it did. It was like just an idea from being on the road. I was out there with K Murdoch, and it was near Christmas time, and I said, man, there's really no Christmas rap albums, you know, not a lot. And I said, I got it. If I'm going to do it, I got to use my favorite soundtrack, which was the Charlie Brown Christmas. And DN3 flipped the tracks, and it's probably one of my favorites too. I was just listening to it like 2 days ago, and I don't listen to too much of my stuff. I don't want to feel like some sort of a narcissist, but like I only listen to me. Like I know a lot of rappers who think like that. I only listen to me, son. But honestly, I don't listen to my stuff a lot. But the Christmas album is definitely probably the one that gets the most replay for me.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where I actually look forward to the weather getting out cold and snow falling on the ground, because normally those are not things you get happy about, but then it's like, okay, I can bust out the Rush Coil remixes of 8-bit Christmas songs, and I can bust out a very random Christmas. It's time now.
Gotcha.
Let's talk about Mega-Lo-Mania. You've got a Kickstarter project that's been blowing up like crazy, and people are kicking in more and more funds to it, and you keep setting stretch goals and hitting them. It's pretty amazing how it's just blowing up again and again and again every time.
Oh man, well thank you. It's been I wouldn't say a slow grind, but it's definitely been a crawl. and a hustle to get this going. And, it's been working really well. I mean, I thought of so many really cool stretch goals, and it's like, so it's really become a completely different project. I mean, once the guys at Retro USB got back to me about making custom NES cartridges with the album on it, I thought, this is amazing. Like, that's a good enough project to just be the Kickstarter itself. So then it just basically turned into a second project. So in order to fully, I guess, accomplish everything I need to accomplish, it needs to be almost 3 times the original goal. And luckily it's very close the last time I just looked. So yeah, man, it's doing really well. I gotta always, of course, thank the fans and supporters and people for sharing it and telling people about it. And yeah, so far so good, man. It's looking really promising.
Yeah, well, as of right now, you hit that 14,000 goal, which was all backers' names get included on the NES card. So you're at 14,091 as we record.
Sweet. Awesome. So glad about that, man. Yeah, it'll be awesome. And it's not, I mean, I don't know how to program an NES card, but luckily the guys at Retro USB do, and they told me, it wouldn't be too hard to create like a thank you screen where you get everybody's name in there. So everybody will be immortalized inside of a Nintendo cartridge, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, let's take it back. When it first started out, because we're talking about the NES card, but it started out as a DVD and a Kickstarter for a new album. That was the initial project.
Yes. So it was already a 2-headed project, but we were working on a director's cut for the documentary DVD called Mega-Lo-Mania. Mega-Lo-Mania came out in August and got some really great reviews. We did a screening party here in Phoenix, and it sold out. I mean, it was just amazing. So a lot of people they really loved it, and they encouraged us to take it forward further. Like, you should, enroll this in some, different film festivals and things. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll look into that. So I started looking into those things, and they were very expensive. And then someone else said, hey, man, is your documentary going to get on Netflix? And I hadn't even thought about that. So I decided to look it up. And between Netflix and iTunes and things, it was really expensive, like hella expensive. So I couldn't handle it. I'm like, this is way too much money. So I'm going to have to look into another way to come up with these funds. And between the probably 100 or so film festivals that there are out there, it was looking at almost $5,000 after filming, a documentary. So I looked into it and I was just like, I don't think we can do this. But now I realize why film projects are usually asking for so much money, because it's expensive. I mean, I know all about music. I know how to put an album out and things like that. But as far as putting out a movie, I have no clue. So I wasn't aware of the costs. But luckily, I think, it's got a leg up on most film projects because the documentary's done, or at least 2/3 of it. We just need to add a few more minutes to make it a 60-minute film and then do all the distribution. But the bulk of the film is done. It's not like I'm asking for money to buy a camera to shoot,
and if I could jump in here for a second, you actually break down the cost. It's like $1,000 to get it on Netflix, $1,500 to get it on iTunes, $1,300 to get it on Redbox, and $150 on Amazon. Amazon's actually the cheapest one out of the whole bunch.
Yeah, strangely enough, which makes me wonder. I wonder if anybody even buys movies on Amazon. Maybe that's why it's the cheapest, is that because no one uses it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like people just get Netflix, but with Amazon Prime to get their streaming service, you got to pay for that $150 to get the free shipping and everything. So that might also be what's lowering the cost of it, is it's subsidized by all the people who are also paying for that Amazon Prime shipping.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
But anyway, just so it's clear, when he says it's costing thousands of dollars, he's not just making up a number. You can look at the Kickstarter campaign; all these numbers are there.
Oh yeah, I found them out, and I was a little taken aback. I couldn't believe that these things cost so much, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, you got to separate the wheat from the chaff, as they say, and figure out who's really serious about making movies. Right. Instead of just throwing everybody on, which it seems that in music, it's a lot easier. So they are kind of letting anybody kind of get on there. Anybody with $50 can put an album on iTunes. but but you need like 1,500 to do it anywhere else, which is crazy.
You hit that initial goal right away. You set it up and said, hey, if we get this much money, we'll put out the director's cut, and people who pledge at a certain level will get a copy of the DVD, and some people who pledge would get the DVD and the shirt, and then it just grew and grew and grew from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Things just kept coming. I mean, I kept getting these really cool ideas and adding new goals and just expanding things. And yeah, I mean, guys were really excited about it. And then the idea of the NES cart fell in my lap, and I was just like, whoa, we got to do this. And so, I'm really excited about that. Like that's super exciting.
Let me clarify that one, because I'm excited about it too, but I'm a little unsure of what exactly it is. Does this mean that if I put the cartridge in my NES, it's actually going to play your album? Are we going to hear it coming out through the speakers of the television?
Yes, you absolutely will. You'll pop it into your NES. You won't even have to blow it. Well, at least not the first time. You know, maybe you blow it. You give it a little jiggle. You drop it in there. And once you power it on, you're going to get a title screen that looks like my album cover, but in 8-bit. Then you're going to press start, and it's going to give you a list, like a track listing. And when you click the track, the first track, let's say you press A, and the music plays, you'll get a screen like with some graphics on it that'll be done by an amazing graphic artist, a friend of mine in Austin called Party Time Excellent, who will be doing some really original graphics that will kind of represent what the song's about, but in an 8-bit way. So yeah, every song will be there. Unfortunately, they will not have lyrics on them because the NES cannot handle voice. It's just not possible. So,
but this isn't going to be like chiptune versions that are just like stripped to be the actual song.
Well, they will be chiptune vocals. No, not chiptune vocals, but chiptune versions of the beats. Because the actual beats, what I've done is I've actually tried it a few times with the Famicom I used live. And when I try to put my beats in, or K Murdoch's beats as they are, they'll sound a little funky. And they can even like kind of crash the whole system because they're just way too powerful. Oh. Like an MP3 is like 700 times bigger than the average NES game, you know? And so because of that, these beats will have to not necessarily be stripped down, but they have to be kind of bit crushed. So once they're bit crushed, we still get them to a point where they sound exactly like the ones on the album, but they will come out with a much more 8-bit flair on them, if you will. So yeah, they'll all be, you know, you won't get staticky things, or instead of a voice, you get like Mario going wah 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 or something like that. But I still remember Bad Dudes and how it was such a big deal when they put voice into Bad Dudes to have the guys say "I'm bad" at the end of the levels. You remember that? Oh. And and he would go "I'm bad." And I always thought I'd rather probably not have it than have that. So,
or like Glove and Boots did the video where they're playing old Nintendo games, and they keep making fun of Double Dribble because every time they put it in, Double Dwibble, and you could barely understand what he said. Double Dwibble. Double Dwibble.
Oh, I have a friend who worked in localization for a big video game company, and he was telling me about the hilarity that would ensue whenever they had to try to localize games, because a lot of times they just didn't feel like letting re-recording or getting an American to do it. So they would just keep the Japanese guy and just have them attempt to speak English. And that's why so many things are terribly pronounced in a lot of earlier video games.
Well, it's not as though that went away in the 90s. I mean, if you listen to the Mega Man 8 voice acting, it's just, oh my God, why did they, I understand it's cheaper, but at the same time, get an American living in Japan to come to the office and do it that day. What? How hard would that be?
Seriously, there had to be an American out there who could have done that. Like, that was ridiculous. You got Elmer Fudd as Dr. Light. I mean,
Dr. Wowie. We got to stop Dr. Wowie.
Dr. Wowie. Oh, man.
Let's take our mid-show break from the interview right here and bring you a song from the Mega-Man Christmas album that we were talking about. This is "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" from A Very Random Christmas.
The night before Christmas, when all through the hood, not a creature was stirring, so everything was all good. The stockings were hung by the chimney so neat, in hopes that St. Nicholas would come to our street. My nerves were stirring, I just couldn't get to bed, while dreams of new trinkets just danced in my head. And Mama in her nightgown, and I in my stocking cap, had just settled down from a long day of shopping. Well, out on the stoop, there arose such a fuss. I sprang from the bed to see what was up. Away to the window, I flew like in a hurry, tore open the shutters, and I noticed snow flurries. The moonlit glow of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to all the cars below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 little deer, with a little old driver so lively, so quick. I thought to myself, nah, can't be Saint Nick. More rapid than crackheads, his carriers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them all by name. Now, as a man raised in the ghetto so hard, my senses, they're heightened, so I'm always on guard. I put on my glasses and I grab my old bat, or if this is a burglar, I know how to handle that. I never imagined a sleigh that could fly so quickly. I dismissed my sight as a lie. But up to the rooftop, the reindeer, they flew with a sack full of toys and a dude in a red suit. And then, in a twinkling, I heard him on the roof, prancing and patting of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, I looked up the chimney, and guess who was coming down? He was dressed all in fur, his shoes they still shined, and although he had traveled through such dirt and grime, a bundle of gadgets he flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening up his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were tomatoes, his nose like a cherry. The beard of his chin was as white as some cotton. I put down my bat as if I had forgotten. But the stump of a pipe he clenched within his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. I instantly thought that someone was just joking, so I grabbed his pipe and I whispered, no smoking. This jolly old man, I saw him, yes I did, but I hadn't believed in him since I was like a little kid. He placed his fat finger in front of his lips, and then he turned to my cookie, my milk, and my list. He spoke not a word, but I knew the deal. I got so excited, cause Santa is real. Thought he was silent, but his motions were strong, and he wouldn't give me presents unless I got gone. So I went back to bed, smiling from ear to ear, my belly warm and full, bursting with Christmas cheer. We woke up that morning with a yawn and a stretch, and no one was ready for what we saw next. All the presents that I knew I would see, the boxes with the bows sitting under that tree. But my mom was sad, so I asked her, what's wrong? The trees, the gifts, our Christmas is gone. Could it be true that my hunches were right? The jolly old man who went bump in the night was not Saint Nick, but some sort of imposter, and that we were struck by a holiday robber. He took the PlayStations, our bikes, TVs, Nintendo DS's, the coats with long sleeves. This expert magician was smoother than silk. He even devoured my cookies and milk. Though I was upset that he'd broken our home, he made one mistake. He took my iPhone. And thanks to the insight and the brains of Steve Jobs, Find My iPhone activates when you're robbed. And when the time came to talk to the police, thanks to technology, this cat's off the streets. So always lock your doors and remember, sleep light. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And to all a good night.
Localization.
Localization. I just mentioned that in a new song on the Mega Man album that's actually going to come out on Christmas Day. I just recorded the very last track, and I didn't get a chance to talk about that. This is an album that I've been working on for, I guess, maybe a year or so. It was just one of those things. I did it for myself. I asked a couple of my favorite producers to just make a Mega Man beat. And I just started working on it, and I wasn't even really planning on putting it out. And, it was something that had sat there and I liked it. And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe if we hit a certain level, I'll put it out. And so we did. I think that was the 10,000 level that did that. So now there's actually going to be a physical copy version of that EP. And, it's going to be pretty awesome. The artwork is being worked on right now by my man, Thor Thorvaldsen, who's done the Mega Ran 10 and, Blur Bomber artwork. So it's going to be really great, man. K Murdoch's on it, Mustin, Lost Perception, myself and DJ DN3 and many more.
That's another thing we can look forward to on Christmas Day. It's a Christmas present for all the fans and for the hip hop community as well. So
Absolutely.
Something to enjoy. And what other projects? I mean, you've got a million different things going on, and I probably don't even know half of them because I get the mailing list updates, and there's things that you've kept under your hat that we don't even know about yet. But what can you tell us that we don't know about?
All right. What you don't know about is the next album. Let's see. The next album is an album with my friend Storyville. Storyville is actually out here this weekend because we're shooting some videos and doing some promo for it. The album will be called Soul Veggies, which is the combination of him and I. And I figured it would kind of work out. We both love soul music and we both kind of veg out once in a while. So, so the cover will be a giant turnip with with headphones on. And, because it all started as a joke, and we were talking about how the kids say turn up all the time. And we're like, but I don't like turnips, and things like that. And so turnips and beets then sounded like turn up the beats. So we just started coming up with all these silly veggie terms. And so the Soul Veggies album is being worked on right now. I think it's going to release in February. So actually, this is the first time I've actually talked about it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, you got an exclusive here. Yeah. The first single is React, which is going to drop in December, probably right before the Mega Man album. I don't want to confuse anybody, but as long as people keep it in mind that there are two separate projects going on, that the Mega Man project was a special thing that was only going out to to the fans as a special occasion thing. But then my full-length album will be out in February.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait, and I'm glad we got the exclusive on that. So,
yeah.
Right here at rapreviews.com. But, hey, let's talk gaming for a second, because we've talked about music, we've talked about your projects, we just got the exclusive. But what is Rand playing right now? When you got downtime, when you're not working on the album or the director's cut, what are you chilling and playing?
Oh, man. Right now, let's see. On the current gen, I just finished up the new Call of Duty. I had a couple hours.
Yeah, I did tweet you a joke about that. I asked if you pressed X to pay your respects.
Yeah, I saw that. And I, at the time, I don't think I was at that part. But yeah, I absolutely paid my respects. It's an odd thing to allow you to do, but it was a cool game. It was fun. I just wanted something kind of mindless to play through. But, now I'm just on a big retro game kick again, which I seem to always be, but I'm still trying to finish Final Fantasy VI. So I'm working on that. My friend here just showed me a game called Secret of Evermore.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
So we just started playing that, and that's funny. I was just about to actually post a screenshot of that on my Instagram, because I'm fighting this really ugly bug creature. and it's really like annoying me. So I've been playing that and Out of This World, another classic game, and on the current gen, what else am I playing? I just got Sunset Overdrive, which I like, and Alien Isolation, which is a really scary game.
In fact, they got Sigourney Weaver to actually do some of the voices for that to go along with the bonus clips and to set up the theme of what's going on in that. Made me really, really want to get that game, but I still haven't bit the bullet and plunked down my $60. I'm gonna at some point.
Well, at this point, you may as well be patient because, it'll be discounted pretty soon, I'm sure. It's one of those games, I don't know, a lot of my friends are saying it doesn't have a lot of long-term play value in it, but I'm liking it so far though.
See, that's the funny thing. I just spent $15, not 50, 15, if I can pronounce anything today. Guacamelee Turbo Championship Edition. And
yes, that's a great game.
The replay value for that in me is just wandering around, talking to all the people in the towns, flipping from the light side to the dead side, and seeing all the posters change. I mean, I get so many little kicks out of the things the hidden gems in there.
Yes. That's a great game, man. Oh man, that was the first game I played on Steam. I don't play too much Steam these days. I don't think my laptop can handle it, but that was the first game I played on Steam.
What about Mighty Number 9? Are you playing the beta version of that on Steam?
No, I didn't know it was on there. I thought it was just kind of a special limited time thing for people. And wow, I didn't know that. I might need to go and do that.
Yeah, well, I know I got it as a backer, but I assume it's probably still available. If they took it down, I apologize for promoting something that's no longer there.
Yeah, I backed it too, so I don't know. I got to check it out. I'm not a preview or trailer or beta kind of guy, I like to play a game when it's out and ready. Like, people got super excited over the Avengers trailer, and I was just like, I'll wait for the movie. Like, I'm okay. Like, it's just a couple minutes, and so I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of getting something before it's supposed to be in hand. Plus, I heard some mixed reviews on it. And so that's also what made me kind of back up. I was just like, I'd rather play it finalized. But I guess it's taking longer than they thought, so they wanted to, give you something, which is cool.
Yeah, give a little taste. But hey, as far as that Avengers trailer goes, yeah, I realize it's too early and people are getting hyped over something we're not going to see for another year. But I got a big kick out of the person who mixed it with My Heart Will Go On. And that exact moment where he walks through the door and she's singing, walk right through that door. I was like, oh my God. Whoever thought of that was a genius.
Yes, that was awesome.
And going back full circle, we've talked about your music, we've talked about gaming, but you said you don't just listen to yourself. So what is it that you're listening to right now that's got you amped up?
Let's see. I am listening to Childish Gambino's newest mixtape that had me interested. There are these guys called guy and girl actually called Sylvan Esso, who are extremely awesome. It's kind of like some electro folk pop. I don't know. It's so strange, but it's really cool stuff. The beats are like just out there. So I'm really loving their stuff. The new Flying Lotus album is incredible. Run the Jewels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff right now, man. Like, the indie hip hop is where it's at, man. And, yeah, man, so that's what I've been playing right now.
Well, speaking of projects to back on Kickstarter, did you back Meow the Jewels? Cause I threw in $10 for that.
I couldn't do it. I did not back it, but, I did share it a couple times cause I was really excited about it. I thought first thing I thought was there's no way this can happen. But, ironically, the guy who started that was from Phoenix, and I live in Phoenix. And so at the Run the Jewels show in Phoenix, they brought up the guy, Sly Jones, who actually started the Meow the Jewels campaign. And he was just like, I was just messing around and it just started picking up steam. And I was like, that's incredible. I need a fan like that on my team. So I made sure to give Sly Jones a CD.
It was such a brilliant promotion. I mean, they listed all those exorbitant Kickstarter and backing goals that nobody was ever going to fund. And this guy said, you know what? If you're going to do an album with cat remixes, I will do it. I will start the campaign. I'll get LP on board. And he did it. I mean, like you said, having a fan like that who will go to that length, just, you know what? Challenge your fans. Create some crazy Kickstarter goal. Like, for $50,000, I'll do a remix entirely with, tapping my shoe on a wall or whatever. And somebody will probably fund it.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You're that's very tempting. I might do that. I mean, it's only a few days, but, I was thinking about putting something crazy in there. One of them, though, is a tattoo. I just added an idea for a tattoo. And, but I've seen people go crazy with the tattoo goal, like, hey, I'll get whatever you want on my butt. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing
dangerous. That is really dangerous.
I am not doing that. But I'm down to about maybe 4 or 5 different designs, like video game inspired characters that I want a tattoo of. So what I'll do is I'll allow the backers to vote on the tattoo I should get. And then I'll take a camera with me into the tattoo place and let everybody see the process. I think that'll be fun. But it's not quite as crazy as a Meow the Jewels idea.
Or tattooing literally anything somebody wants. Like, you're at least being selective. Like, I'll get some classic video game designs. You pick one of these. But you're not putting, F the law on my butt. You're not doing that.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah. And some of these goals, I mean, they were specifically designed that there's one and done. Like, if I had $500 and I could have thrown it toward it, I would have done it because it's one and done with Get Mega Ran's Famicom. I'm like, oh man, somebody snatched that up right away, didn't they? That was probably like the first day.
Yeah, it was like the first or second day. Man, I was so sad. It's one of those things where you expect, I mean, you do it, but then you don't really expect people to just to take it. And oh man, I look at this thing now every time I'm doing a show, I'm like, oh, I'm counting down the days.
You're getting that anxiety about partying with it. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to actually let it go now.
I really am. It's so sad, man. I've been using this thing for like a year. It's been all over the world. Like, oh, what was I thinking? And then, I start really thinking about it. Like, what was I thinking? I should have made this like $8,000. Like, the sentimental value now is so much more than 500. But yeah, man, I'm okay with that. I think that's awesome that someone would actually want a piece of what I perform with. So I just gotta come up with something else. That's all.
Well,
I'll go get a Sega Master System for the next run.
You know what? That actually would be something I'll pledge toward. If you get a Sega Master System and record an album with that, I'll be the first on that Kickstarter campaign.
Were you a Sega Master System guy?
Big time. My friend Chris had a Sega Master System when I was growing up, and I never had a Nintendo or an Atari because my parents didn't believe in that stuff, but he loaned me his Sega Master System when he got a Super Nintendo. So I spent an entire summer playing Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Curse, and beating every single part of that game.
Awesome.
Yeah, if I wanted a Nintendo, I had to go to Noble's Electronics and rent one for the weekend. That's how I got my Mega Man fix. Was like, I had to blow through those games in one weekend because I had to return it to the store on Monday.
Wow. We used to rent games, but I guess it was the same kind of thing. Like, I had a Nintendo, but I had no games because all I had was whatever was in the 1999 bin. But so we had to rent games, and that was how I played Final Fantasy. That was how I played Mega Man's, so many games, like, cause I just, couldn't afford them. And, yeah, man, we would rent like crazy. Yeah. And, those are the days.
Yeah, it's weird when you think about it back in the day, how you used to rent stuff for like $3 for 3 days. And then you go and get these same games later when you're collecting the games and you get them for like $3 out of the bargain bin. It's like, that's what I used to pay to rent for a whole weekend and now I own it.
Right. Absolutely. It's crazy.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up with some social media plugs. Plug the Kickstarter so people can get in on these pledge goals, and even at the lower levels, they can still get a copy of things. So it's not like they have to go for the super exorbitant claim a tattoo on Mega Ran goal. They can go for the lower ones too.
Oh, absolutely. There's plenty of cool stuff. Most important, I think, is getting the documentary DVD and the new album. But yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff there. And I don't have it in front of me, but I will go to my notes and find my cheat sheet and let you guys know. All right. So it's like this. You can get the DVD. You can get a special thanks. You can get a CD. You can also get a live set MP3 that's going to be me and the Low Classics and all the stuff that we've played live. You'll get that exclusively. There is a digital drawing by my friend Chris Flacco, who does most of my artwork. He'll draw you whatever you want. There's a t-shirt. There's a vinyl record, which was another stretch goal that was achieved. My 8-bit tie is now gone. Special thanks, meaning your name in the documentary. Everybody will now get that. There is the limited edition crew sweatshirt by Nerds Clothing, which looks really awesome. There's the 8-bit USB drive, which is 8 gigs, that has my 8-bit face. You're going to get a digital download with all the albums and comics. The Famicom, of course, is gone. The cartridge, the special edition cartridge, is gold, and so you can get that. Then there's also going to be a regular cartridge, which will be blue, and it'll contain all the album stuff on it. There will be the come on stage perk, where you can come on out during a show on tour and either sing with me or announce us on stage, whatever you want to do, or we can have a pre-show dinner. There is my favorite one, the Your Own Song, which is where me and K Murdoch will flip whatever sample you like and make a song of it. This is always my favorite because I wound up making some of my favorite music just from following some fan suggestions. So definitely always been a really popular one. You can narrate my book, which is an audiobook that myself and K Murdoch are working on. You can be the Morgan Freeman to my book. MagFest perks, which are also now gone. There's a lifetime guest pass. You can get me to write an EP about whatever you'd like. So you come up with a game title or concept, and I'll get to work. We shoot a video with me and the director, Michael Cardoza. There's also the Morgan Freeman second perk, which will allow you to read and recite the intro to the new album, because it's a poem that I wrote that I really like. But then there's your own album. There's so much stuff here. But like I said, even at any level, you're just being a part of this, I think you'll be very pleased with what you get. Best place to go first is Megaran.com. You can get to everything from there. But if you're at Twitter, you can go to Megaran, at Megaran on there. Not to be confused with Meg Ryan, but that's kind of what it looks like when it's close together like that. Facebook, the URL is / Megaran Music, or you just type in random, aka Megaran. On the Facebooks, I'm actually on Tumblr too, which is Random Beats. I'm on SoundCloud, which is Megaran Music, and I'm on Instagram, which is Random Beats, not Megaran, because there's a girl named Megan who has the Megaran username on there. Wow. And she gets very upset when she gets tagged in things.
Oh, really? Is she giving you some nasty email about it? Have you got some crap from her over it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Well, you should have just told her, hey, I'm sorry, it's going to happen, because you got a name of somebody that's a very popular rapper. Not, humble brag, you don't want to put yourself over like that, but at the same time, you're pretty well known out there, so.
Yeah, I don't want to put myself over like that. Like, I'm a big deal, you need to, but I don't know. I'll even ask her, like, do you think maybe we could trade names and you can be like Megaran 2 or something?
Yeah, then she would get tagged quite so often.
Yeah, then you won't get tagged. I don't know.
Oh, well. What can you do?
She's like, I've been Megaran. People have been calling me this since I was a kid, so I want this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Anyway, so that's our interview today with Random, aka Megaran, and thanks for joining us on the Hip Hop Shop. It's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Oh, thank you, man. Likewise.
All right. So, everybody, thanks for listening to the show, and have a good day, night, morning, wherever you are. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Bye, y'all.
And don't miss today's new podcast from Jeep Ward, aka DJ Halo.
Yeah, this is Braille. You at the rapreviews.com. The Rap Reviews. This is Braille. We about to take them back with rapreviews.com. On the attack, on the prowl, make them say, ow. Yeah, I'm smiling when I say that because I know it's crazy. rapreviews.com.